Greetings, all you happy people in the vinyl community. Hi, I'm TC Kirkham, TKR Video Central. Welcome to another edition of TC's Vinyl Archive, the complete album collection. We left off last show with Kids Incorporated, so we're starting with KI, and we're ending past KI somewhere. We'll go over which ones they are, and I got, to this particular show, I have two groups that I have quite a few by, and another one that's got quite not as many, but still a few by. So we'll have three groups. One of them I actually talked about on influencers. But in any case, let me get the microphone set up here so you can hear me, and let's get this show kicked off. Kiss, Destroyer. This is the only Kiss album I own. I have owned this since I was 15 or 16. Kim has considerably more Kiss stuff, as I'll show you when we get to her cubicle. This is, of course, the album with Beth, Shout It Out Loud, and those are the best songs, but it also has Do You Love Me on it, God of Thunder. You guys know this, Detroit Rock City, you know what's on this. If you're part of the vinyl community, you should know what's on that. I have a couple albums from these guys. This is Celebrate from Kool and the Gang. It features their hit single, Celebration. Also, Jones vs. Jones, Take It to the Top, were also singles and did okay on the chart. And their later album from 1983 or 84, Emergency. This was filled with hits. It includes Emergency, Fresh, Misled, and Cherish. All great top 40 hits back in the day. I got this from Black Box. Listen to it. It's pretty interesting. Lake Street Dive. I remember liking it pretty well. I've only listened to it the one time, but I'm not gonna lie. And I believe it was on. Nope, it's black vinyl. Obviously, I think this is a colored vinyl one, but it is not. And this album came out in. It doesn't say what year on the back here, but it's one of the ones I got from Black Box when they were still in operation without like problems. And for those of you who didn't know, I did finally get a refund from them. This one is a different one because I didn't expect it. I've always wanted this album, and I decided to buy it because it's part of my Saturday morning collection, and I always wanted to buy it, and I found it on a Discog seller who had it for near mint for $10. And I bought it, and I have to admit, it's fun. I love the show. I have the show on DVD also, because I know Kim and I go round and round about the show because she thinks it's cruel, and it probably was. They did get in trouble with them, and it was the same company that later did another show for TBS in the 90s. But the music was good bubblegum pop, and I'm not even sure who sang it because they don't give actual credits that I remember on the album. This is Lancelot Link and the Evolution Revolution. Sha La Love You was actually a minor chart hit. It peaked on the Bubbly and Under chart, but it's great. This is the original OG from ABC. And then, shortly after I purchased this, it was released again. This time on a brand new remastered version. Music from the show Lancelot Link Secret Chimp. This is what it looks like. This one is a 45 RPM pressing, which I found out the hard way because I didn't notice the teeny tiny little 45 RPM on the label there. Very cool vinyl. If you like bubblegum pop, don't worry about the fact that it comes from a live action chimp show. The music is still good. Anybody remember the Larson Fightin' Band from 1980? This is their one and only album. I don't think they did anymore. Who'll Be the Fool Tonight was a minor top 40 hit. I think it peaked at number 40 in 1980. But it's a great album. It's got some great 80s, light yacht rock style pop on it. It's real good. I got this from Dawn, I think. I don't think I would have bought it from Adam. Don, I would have bought it in a package. This is an RCA Music release, and it's not bad. It's just later stuff long after they stopped having hits. This is the Letterman, and Love Is. This was released in 1977, I believe. Da, 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 da. It's basically all the modern day hits of 76, 77, 70 in that area. Love So Right, Evergreen, What I Did for Love, Cherish, Precious, and Few. It's an interesting combination. It was, too. It's not bad, but it's not your classic Letterman from the mid 60s. Um, this band, I believe, was out of Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. And they won the second season of Star Search, the vocal group category. This is limited warranty. They had one minor hit, Hit You From Behind, which did hit the Hot 100, but did not hit the top 40. It's great synth pop from the early 80s. And I'm just checking the names here, and I don't recognize anybody as having gone on to other things. But it's a good album. I need to move my keyboard because my albums are stacking up wrong here. Um, I bought this from Adam at Record Crate because I'd seen it in the store when I was younger in the 1980s, and I'd heard it was, rock along the lines of Dwight Twilley Band and stuff, and it actually is pretty good. This is Little America. I think they had two albums. This is the one that I ended up with. There were no big hits off this, although I think Perfect World was a single. It's actually a really good little, rocker, light rocker from 1984, I think. Little River Band, No Rains. This does not have a single hit on it. It came from the cutout bin, as you can see from the notch. I believe this was, I'm just checking to see. Yeah, this was during John Farnham's time as lead singer. So this would have come out after, was this after Playing to Win? Because that they had switched it to LRB at that point. It's a good album. It's typical Little River Band style music, and John Farnham's vocal, really terrific stuff. But it did not produce any big hits. Another one that came from Black Box, and I'm it's interesting. It's like acoustic rock, if I remember right, because again I only listened to it one time. The Lone Bellow and Love Songs for Losers. I do have the download of it if I ever want to listen to it again. Came with a download card. I do remember liking Unicorn and Homesick especially. It reminds me of the sound is similar to the Civil Wars, which I do like a couple of their songs. But, it's not half bad, if I remember right. I need to listen to it again. Loverboy, I have all four of their major albums. This is Get Lucky, their third album. This had Working for the Weekend, When It's Over, and I think those are the only two singles that came off this. Is that the third? That might actually be the second one. Keep It Up. Actually, I think that's the third one. This is the album that has Hot Girls in Love, Chance of a Lifetime, and Queen of the Broken Hearts on it. Their debut album from 1980 or 81, I forget which. I think it was late 80. The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose. On this classic stuff. Classic American new wave alternative stuff. Or actually Canadian, not American. They're Canadian. Sorry. And this was the fourth album, Wild Side. This was from 84, I believe. I don't remember it having any really big hits, but Notorious and Can't Get Much Better got airplay on our local rock station. This group is very, very dear to my heart. I love this stuff. Although the new single from the new album, I'm not really enamored with because it's like 2 minutes and 1 second. It's also Irish flavored, which is weird. I didn't realize he had an Irish background. The lead singer, at least. This is the European pressing of the Pink album from Lucas Graham. Let me cover the boobies so people don't have fits. The Pink album came out in 2022 or 23 and features home movies. By the Way, Lie, Say Forever, One by One. All the stuff that they have. Oh, the home movie. Oh, yeah, it is. I was like, there it is. Home Movies is a duet with country singer Nikki Guyton. It also includes Hard Way, which was deleted from the hard copy of the album after the first pressing, from what I understand. I also have the CD. I bought both of these from iMusic in Denmark. because I wanted it right away. And I got this from Black Box also, and it's good. Lumineers and Cleopatra. This is their 2014 album. It is the typical Lumineer style. I don't have the first album because I actually like the ones that they came out with in 2008. This also came with a download, so I listen to it quite often. It's one of those very few of the current vinyl with a die-cut cover. Okay, let's get into the first of those big group of stuff I was talking about. Let me put these down here. In fact, I think the two of them are back to back on this pile. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. The first one I'm talking about is a group I have loved. I liked from the beginning when I first heard them when they had their first top 40 hit in 1975. But I went gaga for them in 1979, 1980 when one of their albums came out, and it is one of my all-time favorite albums. This is Manhattan Transfer. Bodies and Souls from 1984 features Spice of Life, which was a modest hit on the AC chart, and This Independence, and Mystery, which is just awesome. Mystery is one of my favorite songs by them. Top 10 hit AC. It missed the Hot 100. It peaked at 102 or something on the Bubbling Under. I don't know why, because it is fabulous. Anita Baker also has a great cover of it. Great song from Rod Temperton, the late Rod Temperton. Fantastic song. This is a Brazil. This is all Brazilian flavored music that came out in 1985, I think. 85 or 86. All fantastic. This is one of the early albums coming out, the Manhattan Transfer. I think, let me double check which of the singles were on this, because I have so many of these I don't remember which one is which. I can't see that either. This has Chanson d'Amour, SOS, and the Speak of Mambo. Chanson d'Amour was a hit in the UK by someone else. But here in the States, it was Manhattan Transfer's version that hit the AC chart. And this, 1979's Extensions. This album is in my top 50 albums of all time. Probably somewhere in the top 20. It features Birdland, which is the greatest song they ever recorded. It also has Twilight Zone, Twilight Tone, the wonderfully irreverent Cuckoo You, and Trickle Trickle, which was also a single. There isn't a bad note on this album. Mecca for Moderns. This is from 1981. This features Boy from New York City, and another one of my favorite songs by them that didn't do that well on the charts, Spies in the Night. It bubbled under for a few weeks. I think it actually got into the top 40 on the AC chart, but I love that song. Manhattan Transfer can do no wrong by me, as I'm sure you're starting to figure out right now. Pastiche. This is some great stuff. It's a mixture of all kinds of stuff. I'm going to turn the light on again. I hope it's not causing too many problems with the camera. This does not have any big hits that you might know by them, but it's their typical sounding stuff from the mid-70s. 78 is when this came out. And so this was about a year before Extensions. And Laurel Massey's last album with the band. And this is Vocalese featuring lyrics of Jon Hendricks. These are all original songs. I mean, this album is just freaking killer. Ray's Rock House won them a Grammy. It's fabulous. That is the Manhattan Transfer collection. Let me dump this down here. Drop this down here. These are Ohio guys. I grew up in Ohio twice in my lifetime. From the time I was 6 until I was 11. And again from 18 until I was in my 30s and I moved up here. And I worked with a woman at Buzzard's Nest Records who was a huge fan of this band, and I picked this up when Adam had it for sale. It is a, I think it's white label. Nope, regular label promo copy of McGuffey Lane. Features Long Time Lovin' You, their one really big hit. They have some great stuff, though. This whole album is excellent. McGuinn, Clark, and Hillman, you might know those names. They were three members of the Byrds. This is their 1979 album that featured their top 20 hit, Don't You Write Her Off Like That. Great stuff. Great yacht rock. I mean, you can't really describe it as anything else. Now, let's get to the second of that group that I said I had a ton of. And I've already featured them on Influencers. I truly love the music, even though I don't speak the language. This is a Toto Rock from Menudo. This is from 1983. This was their first album on RCA International Records and became available to the States. You probably know a lot of these songs in their English versions on two of their English albums. But Si Tu No Estás was a #1 hit in Spanish on the Kirkham Report. I love this album. One of the later albums, Ayer Ahoy, this was after Ray Acevedo had joined the band. And Robbie is here, Charlie, Ricky Martin up there on the top, and Roy Vasello. This is also a Spanish language album. And I don't remember anything popping off this. This is not one of the ones I played a lot. Their third English language album, Can't Get Enough. This was shortly after Sergio Blas joined the band. Ricky Martin was here. Charlie Massa was still here. Ray Acevedo and Robbie Rosa. Summer in the Streets and Jumpin' Over were huge hits on the Kirkham Report chart. And they had 2 or 3 other songs that were known among their fans as hits. I think No One Can Love You More was the single, and it didn't chart. Another Spanish language, Evolucion. This features the Spanish language versions of Chocolate Candy, Sabes de Chocolate, and a few other great songs. This was Ricky's first album with the band. No, sorry, wrong. This was Ray Reyes' last album with the band. Ray is no longer with us, unfortunately. This is their 1985 self-titled album on RCA. This was the album that produced their only Hot 100 hit, Hold Me, which peaked at number 60, I believe. Also, You and Me All the Way, and Explosion and Chocolate Candy. All great stuff, and I've actually used the 12-inch version of Hold Me on Disco Party. This was their English language debut, Reaching Out. Robbie Rosa over here was brand new at the time. Of course, he's known as Draco Rosa. Like a Cannonball, the theme from Cannonball Run 2 is here, along with Motorcycle Dreamer. If you're not here, the English language version of Si Tu No Estás. All singles in America, none of which charted. And the last album from Menudo that I have is Sons of Rock. This is on Sutra Records. It was after they left RCA International. Angelo Garcia was the new member of the band at the time and sang lead on You Got Potential, which was their single off this album. It gets a lot of flack, but it's a good album. I have a lot of Menudo solo stuff too. Most of it's on CD. From Johnny, from Proyecto M.A., from Ricky Martin, tons of it. Men at Work now. Men at Work, Business as Usual. This was their breakthrough album from 1982, 83. Featured Who Could It Be Now, Down Under, and Be Good Johnny. Cargo, their second album, featured Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive, It's a Mistake, and I don't think there was a third single from it. And Two Hearts, their third album. And I think it was the last of the actual bands before Colin Hay started doing solo stuff. This featured Everything I Need, which was their last top 40 hit. All of them are great. I love Colin Hay. I have a couple of his albums on CD. I have one on vinyl that I think is in the still to be played list because I got it from Black Box a couple years ago. Love that stuff. Continuing on. Mike and the Mechanics and their self-titled debut album. Of course, this is Mike Rutherford of Genesis with his side band. Silent Running was a big hit off this. I don't have The Living Years. I do have the third album, Beggar on a Beach of Gold, which would also qualify as one of my all-time favorite albums. I love that album. This is not bad either. Monkeys, Headquarters. I don't know what happened to my other... I have another Monkey. I had another Monkey album. Aquarius... what is it? Aquarius Jones... it starts with Aquarius. I can't remember the whole name of the album. It has Pleasant Valley Sunday on it. I can't find it, so I must have lost it in my move when I was 18. This one I picked up more recently. This is Randy Scoose Get is on here, which is they're very well known for. And a lot of album tracks. Nothing that was really a huge hit, but it is a good album. Montreal featuring Euhena Aikiani. I've never known how to pronounce this. This is a disco album. I got it from South Soul Records as a promo when I was in high school for the dances I did. It's pretty good. Classic Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. I picked this up. I think I got this from Steve at Value Vinyl. I've only listened to it once. I like it. I know Dawn's having a heart attack because I've only listened to it once. It's one of her favorite albums, and it is absolutely great. And, of course, it features the original Nights in White Satin. I got this from Black Box also. This is a 2021 reissue, I think. I can't see the date here. It doesn't matter. It came out more recently on... can't even see which record label released it. It is a recreation of the original Elektra label, though. This is Motley Crue's Theater of Pain. Features Home Sweet Home and Smoking in the Boys Room. I love both of those. I actually like Brownsville Station's original Smoking in the Boys Room better than Motley Crue's, but it's not bad. And the whole album is pretty good, even though I'm not the biggest Crue fan in the world. Mount Joy. This came from Black Box. I was pleasantly surprised with this group. They're... Oh, God, I don't even know how to describe them. And I love what they did here, and I think it's fantastic. I was wrong. There was one more album I had from that Ears group that I talked about where I was rating the albums, and it's this one. It was released in 1976, and it went nowhere on Arista Records. And I don't think any of the members have ever done anything either. This is The Movies. I rather... Dancing on Ice was the single. I rather like the song called Satellite Touchdown. It's a good... kind of poppy, a slightly more pop yacht rock sound to it. Classic from Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, of course, which has the title track and Love Hurts. I love this band. This album is not bad, but it's not their albums from the 2010s. This is the 2020 release. Ghosts, it's called, from Neon Trees. I was a huge fan of the two albums, I think, that came out between 2010 and 2018. Loved those, played them to death. This I haven't done so much. I probably would if I actually had a download of it, because I don't break out the vinyl that much on only the stuff I'm really like listening to. But it's good. It's Neon Trees. You're not going to get bad stuff. They're one of the current bands I really love. This came from my cousin Donna. She gave this to me when I was 12, and it was from her teen days. These guys had one big hit, and then a second minor hit, and then disappeared. The New Beats. This is Run Baby Run, the second minor hit. The bigger hit they had was Bread and Butter. It was on their earlier album. Oddball falsetto doo-wop pop from the 60s. New England from 1979, I believe. This was a cutout. They never really clicked big. They had a minor chart hit with Don't Ever Want to Lose Ya, but that was all they did. This is a cutout from Infinity. They were on Infinity Records, which was a... I haven't had this out for a while. That's the label, if you've never seen the Infinity label. It was only around for about a year and a half, and the biggest hit they had on the label was Rupert Holmes' Escape. And then by the time this follow-up single, Him, had come out, they had been absorbed by MCA because they went bankrupt. New Edition now, got several by them. This is All for Love from I think this is with... Bobby Brown is still in the band here. Yes. Count Me Out and Sweet Thing came from this. Tonight's Your Night. Mostly R&B hits off this. This was their debut album on Streetwise Records, Candy Girl. Features the title track and Is This the End, Popcorn Love. All pretty big hits for them on the R&B chart. Their breakthrough album, simply titled New Edition. This has Mr. Telephone Man, Cool It Now, and Lost in Love on it. Love New Edition. They were fabulous. And their covers album, this was between Bobby Brown's departure and Johnny Gill's joining. Under the Blue Moon features some incredible stuff. Love their cover of Earth Angel, Million to One. Duke of Earl is awesome. Ralph Tresvant's voice is just amazing on here. And not to be undone by them, their successors with Maurice Starr. This is the debut album. Oh God, look at how young they were. New Kids on the Block. I bought this sight unseen. This was a blind buy for me when it first came out in 1986. They didn't have a hit until 88. And that was off the next album, Hangin' Tough. I don't have that. I don't think I have that on CD either. I have everything else. This has Popsicle, and later on they would have a hit off this after they'd launched with Didn't I Blow Your Mind, the Delphonics classic. I like Popsicle. It's a good song, and look at I mean, these guys are in their 50s now. Joey McIntyre's kid is recording his debut album. Griffin. This is just scary. And despite the fact that the show sucked, and I'll be the first person to say the show sucked, these guys produced one hell of a good album, New Monkeys from 1986. A lot of the music on here was written by Larry Saltis or Dino Kovas, and not Dino Kovas, Marty Ross. Dino is over here, and Jared's there. This is a damn good pop album, and it deserves better than get. I have a CD as well. The show, if it came out on DVD, I'd buy it, but it was so bad. And I was looking forward to it because I thought it would be fun, because I liked the original show. I have 2 of Larry Saltis' band's CDs. Colorvine? No, the other one. Colorvine was the first one, and I never could find that CD. Oh, that's awful. I can't think of the name of the band, but I have 2 CDs by them, too. Great stuff. The original release, the original hit, Winchester Cathedral, by the new vaudeville band. Kim hates this song. She says it doesn't make any sense. That one, MacArthur Park, she doesn't like songs that make no sense, and this does not make any sense. How can a building stop somebody from going away? It's a great album, great pop from the mid-60s, 66 I think is when this came out, maybe 67. It's fun. Next up, Night. I was wrong about this, by the way. I thought Holly Knight was involved with this. She was a songwriter on a couple of the hits, but she was not part of the band. And I had brought that up when I showed Device a couple shows ago. She was not part of the band. Hot Summer Nights was the only single hit off here, although Chris Thompson, who I believe is this one, had a hit with If You Remember Me, also from this album, but it was billed as simply Chris Thompson, and it came from the movie The Champ at that point. They did a re-recording of it. And again, this is one of those that's on a label that didn't last all that long. Anybody remember Planet Records? Planet was also the home of the Pointer Sisters, and it was owned by the late Richard Perry. But they had some good acts, and Night was one of them. And you know, I'm realizing that I may have not said that wrong. Holly Knight was involved with Spider, not Night. Hello, I'm just not thinking. It's Eurovision week. I'm busy. Yeah, that'll do. 3, 4, 5. Wow, I didn't realize I had all those. I must have listened to them at some point. I remember listening to them. They all have hits on them. Night Ranger. This is Big Life. This is the one album that didn't really have any big hits. It had The Secret of My Success from the movie. And the local rock channel played Big Life and Hearts Away, but I don't remember it hitting the charts any on that one. This was their debut album, Dawn Patrol. This is their best album, period. Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Sing Me Away. Both of them are on this album. You're not going to get better Night Ranger. I don't care if they did have bigger hits with some of the other stuff. This one, this is Man in Motion. This was when they had pared down to a quartet from a quintet. No big hits on here. Here She Comes Again got some rock airplay, and so did Man in Motion. Not to be confused with St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion. This is a reissue of their original album from 1984, I believe, Midnight Madness. This includes their biggest hit, Sister Christian, and You Can Still Rock in America. And was there a third single on here? When You Close Your Eyes was the third single. I honestly, this album is fine, but it doesn't come close to Dawn Patrol, and I know this was their biggest selling album. And then there was this one, just called 7 Wishes. It featured 4 in the Morning, which was a big hit, and Sentimental Street was on here. Wait a minute. Sentimental Street was not on it. Oh, no, that's Sister Christian, sorry. Sentimental Street is on here, and 4 in the Morning. Interstate Love Affair also made the rock charts. Good stuff on these. Now, I'm doing something that I don't do very often, and I've told you about this. The next 2 albums I have are sealed. I did not open them. I got one from Black Box and the other one I bought on my own. And I want to keep them sealed because I have both of them already on digital. And they go for, people really want these. And sometimes, somewhere down the road, I might be able to supply a mint copy of this album. So I have kept them sealed because I already had the digital versions. This is, I believe this is a reissue. I'm pretty sure it's a reissue. 2000, it says 2003? 2003? They did vinyl in 2003? Nirvana's Bleach. And of course they're known for About a Girl from this album. It's a terrific album. And I know there are those of you going like, you're a Nirvana fan? Actually, I am. Kurt Cobain was a freaking genius. And I'm like, I have the Unplugged album I love. This is the 2023 30-year reissue, which was, and people were going nuts looking for this. I went to my local Newbury Comics. There was a whole stack of them, of Nevermind. Limited edition. I have kept it sealed, as I said. It is a 7-inch there's a 7-inch single included, and it also has a 180 gram premium vinyl. I have kept it sealed for just because number one, I have the digital, and number two, somebody may actually want this at some point, and I would be able to let them have it at some point. I picked it up because everybody said they were going to be scarce, and it turns out they're not really scarce. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Uncle Charlie and his dog Teddy. This has Mr. Bojangles on it. And I'm looking, I don't remember. Yeah, and House of Pooh Corner is on here too, which is great. So I love their cover of that. Of course, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band later became the Dirt Band in the 80s and then went back to the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band later in the 80s. I don't have any of the later albums, but this is, it's what it was for the time. And for those of you who did not know, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band also performed as the Toot Uncommons on Steve Martin's King Tut. This is the only vinyl album I have by this group. I have like 9 or 10 CDs. I love these guys, and this is the album they had the hits with, which is why I got it. This is the Nylons and Happy Together. This features their cover of Kiss Him Goodbye, which was a pop top 40 hit. Also, The Exquisite, A Touch of Your Hand, and Happy Together. Everything on this album is mind-blowing and turned me into a monster fan of these guys. Like I said, I have, I think, 9 or 10 of their CDs, and they're just fabulous a cappella pop. I got this, I think this came from Steve at Value Vinyl also. This is Fancy Free from the Oak Ridge Boys. It has the title track, which I've always been a fan of, and the unfortunately included Elvira. God, I hate that song. Oh, wrong way. We lost Joe Bonsall last year. It's the only thing I have by the Oak Ridge Boys in my collection. And Odyssey, one of the greatest disco bands that never really got the attention they deserved on the pop chart. They were just as good as Chic and a couple of the other ones. Native New Yorker was a big hit for them. That's on this album. You Keep Me Dancing was also a dance club hit. And this came from Black Box, and I had not heard this. This is, what is this, 1974? Originally released 1973. This was pre-hits. They had a couple of monster hits in 74 and 75 after switching labels. This is when they were still on Westbound Records, and I have some of their other tunes on the Westbound Sounds collections from Record Store Day. This is Ohio Players and Ecstasy. Great mid-70s funk at its best. Ohio Players would jump labels and have hits with Fire and Love Roller Coaster a year or two later. And let's wrap up this puppy with this small last of few I have. This is the OJ's, Ships Ahoy. This also came from Black Box. It's a 2020 reissue, I believe. Includes For the Love of Money, which is the big hit off this. It also has, I believe, Now That We Found Love was an R&B hit. I don't think it hit the pop chart. This came with the download. It gets lots of use because I love the OJ's. I was stunned. This is going to be a bad one. I'm going to have to hold my hand over the cover. Or I guess I can try to pixelate it when I edit. This was one of my favorite disco albums. I got it as a promo from South Soul Records. And because I was not a club person, I had no way to get to a club when I was a kid, other than small town Washington. You know, it's not like you could get to Spokane that easily. I was overjoyed to get requests for some of these songs from listeners of Saturday Night Disco Party. I love this album. This is ORS. And I'm not going to be able to hide it. It's got boobies. I'll try to pixelate it when I edit it. Body to Body Boogie. This features the title track and Moon Boots, which were both hit singles. My favorite is an instrumental called Disc Mugorsky, which isn't Mugorsky, but it sounds like it could be. I love this album. This is one of the best disco albums ever made. This is, I debated putting this in the greatest hits, but it's not really a greatest hits because they didn't have any hits at the time. This is Orleans and the ABC collection. This is, I got to get it out of here. And I got to turn the light on again. This did not have any really big hits because when they were with ABC, they did not really have any big hits. This was released after they switched labels to Asylum and had a hit with Dance With Me. The songs on here are good. They're early Orleans-style yacht rock. But there are no hits on here. I cannot say the same for this one. This is Forever from Orleans. This was their only album on Infinity. Again, there's that rare Infinity label. Love Takes Time was a top 20 hit. And it was nice to see them back again. It's one of my favorite late 70s songs. It came out in early 79. Great, typical Orleans yacht rock type style. And an album voted one of the worst album covers ever. If you look at some of those videos on YouTube, I gotta say, I agree 100%. Wakin' and Dreamin' from Orleans. This is the album with Still the One, which became a big hit for them and later was used as ABC's fall season 76, I think, theme song. Great album. That's the only hit on here. That album cover is terrible. And finally, Professor Carlson, turn up your ears when you get done moving, by the way. It's Osmond's time. Crazy Horses. I do not understand how Carlson cannot enjoy this album. This is the closest thing you're going to get to rock from the Osmonds, and it inspired T-Rex. It inspired Def Leppard. It inspired Suzi Quatro. What else do you need to say? Yeah, Crazy Horses. I mean, when you hear that and you remember One Bad Apple and Double Lovin' from the year before, you're going, what the F, man? Great effing album. I also have the bubblegum stuff. This is Homemade with Double Lovin' and Chilly Winds. I'm Still Gonna Need You from 1974. This had the Proud One, but nothing. It was not going to be a really big hit, and I'm Still Gonna Need You, which wasn't a big hit either. They were top 40 hits, but they weren't huge like they'd been a year before. This is a British pressing that I picked up in the cutout bin of Love Me For A Reason. This has the title track, and I think that's the only single. It has their covers of Ball and the Jack and I Can't Get Next to You on it. Their debut album, simply titled Osmonds. I was young. I wrote on my albums. I was 6 when I got this. One Bad Apple is on here. Sweet and Innocent, Donnie's first solo single, is on here. Their version of Motown Special, which I grew up with and didn't realize how whitewashed it was. A lot of good stuff. They wrote good lyrics, and it was a good album. And the album that has most of their, well, not most, 2, but they were both huge hits. Osmond's Phase 3 features Down by the Lazy River and Yo-Yo, which were both top 5 hits. Has some other great stuff on it. It is not a live album, despite the pictures. But it is a terrific album, and if you're into the Osmonds, it's a must-have. That's going to wrap this part. We will begin wherever it begins after Osmonds on the next show. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll like, share, and comment. I was getting a few comments. I haven't had time to answer everything. I'm sorry, because I've been getting ready for Eurovision. But I wanted to get this up so it was in between the Eurovision days, and I'll have another one up on probably Friday. And we'll see where we go from there, but thank you. If you want to support us, we've got merch. There's the Obscuria Vault shirt I did. We've got Patreon, Ko-Fi, Buy Me a Coffee, and our GoFundMe, which we can still use help with. And I appreciate those who have donated already. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And let other people who are interested in this kind of stuff know that I'm going through my whole freaking collection of albums. And we're just about halfway through this Calyx. And I have, these were 9 Calyx. I have a 12-slot Calyx coming up. And then I have my To Listen To and current bin to show off. It's all going to be here, folks. Until next time, for TC's Vinyl Archive, the complete album collection, I am TC Kirkham, TKR Video Central. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you on the interwebs. Ciao, baby.